Ever wonder why a basic site strategy and feasibility cost over 10K and takes weeks, only for the model to stay with the consultant? Well, I've built a Claude skill that can do the same job in minutes and you keep everything. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works, what it actually produces, and how you can get set up on your own workflow. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Toby, and over 15 years, I've delivered $15 billion of real estate projects across the US, the UK, and the Middle East. And now I work directly with development professionals to help them become AI power users, to automate their workflow so they can focus on strategy and building career-defining projects. Let's get into it. Before I show you the skill, a quick word on what Claude is. And most people I speak to have heard of ChatGPT but haven't used Claude, because they're completely different tools from different companies. And for this kind of work, the distinction matters. It handles complex technical inputs, long structured documents, and precise instructions far more reliably than most alternatives. So you're not just using it to write emails and generate images. You're using it as an analyst that follows a precise brief every time without ever needing to be rebriefed. And if any of this is overwhelming for you, or you want to understand where you are on the spectrum of AI readiness, we've got a free quiz you can take in the link in the description below. And that'll give you a full personalized report on your strengths and weaknesses in AI and a personalized plan on how you can improve these immediately. That's the foundation. Now let's jump into the skill. So a skill is a set of precise instructions that you write once, and it tells Claude exactly what job to do, what inputs to expect, and what format to produce the output in. Think of it as a standing brief for a specialist analyst. You write it once, and they execute the same way every single time. No briefing required ever. So our Claude already knows what a development appraisal is, what inputs it needs, and from a site brief, how to structure the analysis and how to populate the template around our feasibility that we give it. Once the skill is built, the workflow is just simply paste in the site brief and get the appraisal. That's the entire process. So as you can see from this skill, as I go through this comprehensive document, it's got individual instructions to the skill to show exactly what it needs to do in order to get to the appraisal output that we would expect. So what actually goes into building a skill? And there are three main components: the context, which is what the skill knows about development appraisals, the instructions, and what to do with the inputs, which is this large long section here. This then informs it on how to format the outputs and how to structure the responses of the template. Then we've got other elements like assets, and within this asset, I've provided it already the go-to automated real estate development appraisal that I've used in the UK, the US, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. And because this is embedded into the skill, it means that the output that I get is a document that I am used to using that is consistent and remains the same every single time I have a presentation to do. It also has elements such as references. If there are key elements of information that are relevant to your specific development, then this is where it's going to need to be uploaded. For example, we have market benchmarks. What is the average size, cost, price for specific developments within your area? And then finally, we have the scripts, which is the coding and the individual templates that allow it to actually filter in and fill out the final outputs that we'll be receiving. So now we understand what's behind the curtain. Let's have a look at what this actually looks like when we put a real development through it. Okay, so now we're actually going to show what it looks like when a skill like this runs. So what we've got in front of us here is just a very high level generic development brief on a site that I won about 18 months ago and have completed the development on. So what we're going to do is put this very high level brief into Claude as an image. Now you can upload a document or any way to provide this information to Claude. And then we use the / command to start opening up all of our individual skills. Now this one is the feasibility builder. And then we're going to say, using the brief that's in this image, please provide me a complete feasibility and one-page memo summarizing the strengths and weaknesses of this development from a returns point of view. And then we're going to fire that off. And as you can see, it starts to read the skill that we've been building and that we've provided it. Okay, so as you can see, the output has been provided to us. It's gone through the skill. And what it's done is, if you've worked with us before, you'll recognize this. This is our flagship automated development appraisal. And what it's done is put in the site area in the config section of the feasibility. It's gone through and added all of the correct dates that we'll be trying to hit for our construction process, researched and put the correct revenue assumptions in, and all of our professional fees and other assumptions all seem to be correct with a target margin of 18%. Great. And then it's used our efficiency provided of 78%, gives us 180 units. And then this will then provide us a detailed account of our project IRR, our developer margin, our return on capital employed, what our hard construction costs are, what our governmental municipality fees are, fees all for a development cost of 46 million. And then what's the income, GDV, 61 million. So then that will provide us a land value of total incoming 61 million, development cost 49 million, take away the margin of 18% that we're after, gives us a land value of about £1 million. So there's some tweaks to be made there. And then also what it provides us is a detailed memo that shows us all of the areas that we need to look at in terms of what risks it notices from previous models done and what the data is saying from certain areas like the building cost indices, and just a complete list of what the dials are that we can tweak in order to improve this model. So this is what's so good about skills, is you teach it once and it learns forever. Once it knows how to use your model, your process, and the outputs that you like, it can do it continuously as many times as you like, over and over again. And that's how a Claude skill with the right setup can save you tens of thousands of pounds while getting you a similar or even better result than using a consultant. And if you want access to the resources that I've covered in these videos, there are two things in the description for you. The first is the Development Appraisal Suite, which is the appraisal template that the skill populates, which will provide you 14 files, 4,843 live formulas built on the same methodology used across multi-billion global schemes. So if you want the model before you think about the skill, this is where to start. And the second is a booking link. So if you want a skill like this built for your specific workflow, or if you have another part of the process you want to compress or automate, then book a call with us. We'll scope exactly what you need, no obligations. Both links are in the description. And if you like this video, then watch this next video. And if this was useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's more content like this coming weekly.